What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Good to see you. Always is. We're into the quarterfinals now over in Mexico and the semi-finals over in Dubai. So we're going to touch on them very, very shortly. Before we do, like the video for me, if you would. I'm going to ask you to subscribe to the channel if you're not. I'd appreciate it if you did. We got a good view again last night. Well happy with that. We continue to grow. If you want to support the channel, as always, link is in the description and the pinned comment, along with the pics and the timestamps and pretty much everything else. So, first things first, what happened with Ben Shelton and Zverev last night? Hey, you wouldn't believe it, would you? I watched that Ben Shelton game. He didn't look too good, man. He didn't look too good. I didn't get to see the Zverev one, but I was very surprised when I woke this morning and seeing that he was done in straight sets. Say something about that. Great stuff from Lena Tien. Although I didn't watch it, I imagine it was great stuff anyway. Although the results may be shocking, I can't help but feel like it's not the biggest story at the moment over in Mexico. As you may or may not be aware, food poisoning. Aye. Can you believe that? Food poisoning in Mexico. Someone's poisoned the bloody food. Tommy Paul, Casper Ruud, Holger Rune, stomach bugs. Someone has poisoned the salsa. Can you believe that? That's nuts. Very concerned for today, knowing that. Who else is going to get that? You know, odds are at least one of these, one of the, 2, 4, 6, 8, one of the 8 that play today in the quarters, very, very may well pull out before this video is even out, or may not make it through the rest of the match. If there's anyone out there that can find out what Denis Shapovalov has eaten today, I'd be very, very thankful for that. I hope he stayed away from that dip. I really do. Fucking can't believe it. I'd be devastated if I was a player and I'd turned up today and someone's fucking been dipping the nuts on me chimichangas or whatever. I wouldn't go back. I would never go back, honest to God. Maybe that's just me. I'm assuming it's like clubhouse food. I don't know about you. I've never been to Mexico. I'd love to go. Those in America will probably know, so you tell me. If I had to guess, I would say Acapulco is not the kind of place that you would just go out at night for food, especially the likes of these players on the ATP tour. It's not exactly a tourist spot, is it? I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I'd imagine you're in your hotel, you're getting food in, aren't you? You're not wandering around if you're one of these. Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's neither here nor there. I hope no one else is suffering with that. I watched a bit of the Holger Rune game. He didn't even get through the first set, 3 games. And then he said, I had a stomach problem, which I interpreted only as I needed to take a shit halfway through the set. If that's so, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's a shame for Holger Rune, it really is. But that's enough of that anyway. It weren't too bad because Thomas Mahach and El Chapo got it done as well for me. So I was redeemed at the end of the day. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Well happy with that. That was the one I wanted anyway. It was the big one. But anyway, 4 games, 4 is here. First off, we've got Lena Tien and Thomas Mahach. Getting Thomas Mahach around 1.6. I want to like it. I really want to like that, but I do have me doubts. I won't lie to you. Lena Tien. I only seen the highlights. I didn't watch the full game, but he looked really good. He really got on Zverev. I mean, you're not beating him 2-0. You're not beating him in straight sets on just the fleet. It's not. He's really good. And Tien is really good. He's like that. He's doggish. If you're going to beat Zverev, why would you not beat Thomas Mahach? This is the question, I imagine. I don't think Lena Tien's dropped a set so far this week. No, he hasn't dropped one. Come through qualifying clean, and then, Cam Norrie, Zverev, nice and easy for him. Would you believe that? 2-0 against top 5 players for Lena Tien. Now, I did watch Thomas Mahach and Daniel Altmaier, and that first set was dicey. Very, very dicey. I was a bit worried. I was. He was very good in the tie-break though, and then in the second set rather, he was brilliant, just lights out. Daniel Altmaier with the one-handed backhand. It was working magic for him. That in the first few games, it was so good. Mahatch just had no answer for it. But like I always say, and like I mentioned with the Tsitsipas game, as soon as that starts failing, it looks really bad. You start putting balls up on the roof. Would I be surprised to see Lerner TM beat Thomas Mahatch? Not at all. Not after that. Not after the Zverev game. Absolutely not. Thomas Mahatch, you may or may not know, is the only outright that I have left standing now after Tommy Paul's had to pull out. I did get me stake back for that though, so no damage done. And I was going to leave it till the end, but I may as well just tell you now, I just put the stake back on Denis Shapovalov. Roughly the same odds, a little bit less than what I got for Tommy Paul at the start, so we'll see what happens with it. I'd love to take Thomas Mahatch to beat Lerner TM. We know he's a lot more experienced. We've been saying it all week. A lot more tested at this level. I don't know. Maybe it is just as easy as if you're going to beat Zverev, you're probably going to beat Thomas Mahatch, right? I don't know. My something's telling me no. I don't know what it is. I'm going to stay away from it. I'm definitely going to watch it. I can't wait for it, but you're going to hate me for saying this, but I can't help but feel like Thomas Mahatch beats him. I do. I do. Can't even explain it to you. It's just thinking about it is turning my mind into porridge. So for the sake of the rest of the picks, we're just going to move on. I would expect Thomas Mahatch to get that one done. He is more than good enough. You've got to give him that. His second game, we've got Binach, David Goffin, getting Brandon Nakashima around 1.5, 1.6. Pretty much the exact same as the Mahatch and TN game. Head-to-head is 2-0 to Binach in this one. Haven't played each other since 2023. That was on the Challenger Tour. Both of these are on the indoor hardcourt too. I think we wouldn't have been wrong to assume Binach was probably going to beat Holger Rune anyway yesterday, just based off previous performances. And we mentioned as well, not only does he beat him, he absolutely bullies him as well. So maybe he would have done the same. He looked good against Bonzi, and it's hard to say he looked good against Holger Rune. He was in the state he was in. We didn't see anything. He's definitely going to be a lot fresher. I'll give him that. We know he prefers this sort of surface. David Goffin now. I don't know. Nothing's been said about Ben Shelton and Zverev in regards to the food poisoning. But if I was Ben Shelton, I would just use that excuse. That's as good as it's going to get. As far as explaining that performance, just saying, look, I had some radioactive dip and I just couldn't play. I just felt sick. In that second set, he looked like he had an infection. He did. And I know it's hot over there. I know it's humid, but I don't know. I just thought Ben Shelton, in the conditions, would have held up a lot better than David Goffin, but apparently not. Conditions suited David Goffin a lot more than Shelton, that being the slower court. And he's been playing really good this week. Even the results against Dinky, I thought that may have just been a one-off, but he hammered him. He looked really good against David Goffin. Ben Shelton, like we said, just couldn't break him. And then, just when you thought he couldn't break him, he gets broke himself. I thought it was curtains. He breaks back. You just couldn't write it. You just couldn't write it. And then he just gave it right back anyway. He just couldn't play. Don't know what was up with him. Didn't look good at all. I know Binach's going to be a lot fresher. I can't imagine David Goffin's going to get any fitter the deeper he gets into this tournament. It'd probably be Binach or nothing, but the way Goffin's played the last two games, I wouldn't mind having a sprinkle on him. Just that price, just a little sprinkle. I wouldn't talk it off it. Game 3, got El Chapo, Marcus Garon. Getting El Chapo at 1.5. You remember this? We seen this not that long ago. At the start of the season, was it? Auckland, Adelaide, one of them. Adelaide, yeah. So straight sets for Marcus Garon, 7-5, 6-2. And then in Houston as well on the clay last year, 6-2, 7-5. What are the odds of that? Quite worried actually, because as I've just said, El Chapo's never took a set off Marcus Giron, and that surprises me. It really does. But I don't think El Chapo has ever played as good as what he's been playing as of late. I really don't. He's on one hell of a tear at the moment. I'm pretty sure this is. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this may be El Chapo's best winning streak to date. Yeah, we having that? I'd say so. I can't remember when he put back-to-back wins like this together. No, sir. Oh, Marcus Giron, I mean, similar thing with the last game, and he's going to be a lot more rested because Tommy Paul didn't play. So he's got a day there. Chapo looked really good against Alex Michelson. I watched that one. Similar to the game before, Witness Shesh. Couple of breaks, back and forth. The unforced errors tend to creep in. He can break himself a lot of the time, El Chapo, that's the case. Providing he can keep the unforced errors in check, you have to admit El Chapo has been playing so much better than Marcus Giron at the moment. So much better. Like, forget the head-to-head and all that. What do I always say? There's no reason to bet against Chapo. There's no reason to bet against anyone when they've given us no reason to. Why would we go against Chapo now just because Giron beat him a couple of months ago? Even though it was only, 3 months ago, the start of the season. El Chapo, he was playing nowhere near as good as what he was playing now. He's found something and he's just snapped into form, and I don't know what it's going to take to beat him. I really don't. I'm not saying he's invincible. I'm really not. I'd love him to go on and win this tournament. Him or Thomas Mahatch, that'll do me. Preferably Thomas Mahatch because I got that at like 10-1. But just going off what I've seen the past couple of weeks, I'd have to go with Chapo. I'd have to. He's beat well better players than Marcus Giron the past week or two. He has. Now, whether they've played as good as what Marcus Giron may or may not play today, that's to remain to be seen. But Taylor Fritz, better than Marcus Giron. Thomas Mahatch, better than Marcus Giron. Tommy Paul, better than Marcus Giron. Casper Ruud, better than Marcus Giron. If you can beat all them in straight sets apart from Taylor Fritz, why would you not beat Marcus Giron? Is it just me? Am I being fucking stupid or something? I don't know. Is this a trap? Is this a trap? Has Chapo got the shits or something? Is he just going to pull it? I'm not so sure. I'd be willing to bet that he wins, I think he's going to. He's looked, I'd say, if not the most, he's looked up there, like, definitely one of the most solid out of the entire field in Mexico, especially out of the ones that are still going as well. So, yeah, it'd be Chapo or nothing. Nothing against Marcus Giron. He's a very good hardcore player, but he ain't playing nowhere near as good as Denis Shapovalov at the moment. You have to admit that. And then we've got Davidovich Fokina, Pacheco Mendes. Fucking hell. This lad's still here as well. What you getting him around 6-1, 7-1. Big spreads, folks. Big spreads. 5.5. Just probably take that. Buy a point. 6.5. You're still getting well better odds. Maybe even 7.5. You'd be getting better odds than Davidovich Fokina as the favourite here. 1.1 is that? 1.08, 1.1. Now, I've been very, very impressed with Davidovich Fokina. I really have been. The game against Kekmanovic and Del Rey, I keep going back to it. That was such a bad beat. It was such a bad beat. But he was playing really good before that. And even after he's continued to play well, all 2-1, they're all like close enough games, but he's got an extra something. I don't know, he's got an extra level, whether that's an extra level of fitness or I don't know what, but he's very good. And he's no joke as well. He's been around the block a few times. He's quite seasoned, and he very, very trustworthy at this level as opposed to his opponents. But, considering you've just played 2-3 setters and your opponent's just had a day off, and I imagine Pacheco Mendes is very aware of what and what not to eat on the tour at the moment, I couldn't talk it off taking him plus that 5.5. I say it all the time, folks. 5.5 is so many games. So many games. unless you like Alcaraz and Sinner, and I make the exception for those, I do. But in spots like this, in a best of three, why not just go for it? Home crowd, fresh food. Yeah, yeah, just take the Mexican dude in it, plus the points. Why not? Why the hell not? That does us. That's going to do us over in Mexico, and then we've got the semi-finals over in Dubai. Should be short and sweet tonight, folks. I apologise for the late upload last night. I've just, got shit going on. Got work and that, haven't I? You know what I mean? It's I do try my best. But in Dubai, we have got the first semi-final tomorrow. Is one that we seen last week, I think, over in Doha. Yeah, what are the odds of this coming up again? Quinton Hallis, Felix Auger-Aliassime. I didn't like how close Felix made it look the last time out, and I've got the exact same concerns for this match here, because I've since that game against Felix Auger-Aliassime, Quinton Hallis hasn't lost a match. He's only dropped, two sets, one to Lukanadi today, and then the one to Rublev. He's been playing a lot better. Started off quite shit. He's playing a lot more like the Hallis that we've seen last season. Well, towards the end of last season anyway. Felix. Now, he's dropped a set in all three of his games this week. The one to Bublik, the one to Bojan, and the one to Marin Cilic today. But he has managed to rally and get the win in the end. That's all that matters, right? I'm so worried about this. I don't know. I've got such a bad feeling about this one. Quinton Hallis kept it so close last time. You could have took that spread. I think it's 2.5. I don't know. Yeah, Felix at 1.35, 1.4. It's dicey, innit? It is. The head-to-head is 2-0 to Felix here. He's beat him twice. Both, well, the one last week and then last year in Marseille. I'd imagine he'd beat him again, I would imagine he would beat Quinton Hallis again, if I had to guess. That's what, 15 wins so far on the season for Felix Auger-Aliassime, 8-5 for Quinton Hallis, 15-4, 11-3 on the hard court, 8-3 on the hard court for Hallis. He can play, he's very strong, he plays a very tough, solid game, very consistent, he serves well, and he can just punch, can't he? No doubt Felix has got more variety. It's just who's going to turn up and how are they going to look? Do you reckon Felix gets to another final? I think he gets to another semi-final. I'd think so. I would think so. Quinton Hallis, the win against Rublev, we sort of seen that coming, with Rublev playing that final pretty much the day before. Beating Roberto Batista de Gou. Pretty sure he was a tiebreaker in that one. The form he's been in at the moment, I don't really take much from that. And then the game against Lukanadi pretty much could have went either way. He dropped the first set 6-2, came back 6-3, and then won a tiebreaker. That's not very Quinton Hallis like, Quinton Hallis like, that's what I meant to say. I got mixed up. That's I don't know. That's a bit too close to call. Maybe this is the perfect spot for the over, probably. I don't know. I think it's going to go exactly the same way as it went last time. What are the odds of that? No doubt Felix is well better. If Hallis has been doing enough to get through his games, then so is fucking Felix. He's played well better opponents. Apart from the Rublev one, but like we said, it weren't the same Rublev. I don't think Hallis would have beat Rublev last week. I'd probably just go with Felix to get it done. I'd just bite the bullet and trust in Felix to get this one done once again. He is better. He's been playing a lot better. I feel like, although it feels weird to say it, I feel like we can trust in Felix a lot more just at this point in the season. So that would be what I'd go for there. I'm finishing us off. We've got Talent Greek Sport. It's the final Tsitsipas. And we've seen this one not that long ago too in Rotterdam, didn't we? A very close game. It was always going to be 2 tiebreakers and then 7-5 in the third for Tsitsipas. Looked really good against Sonego. Had a very, very close one against Kachanov. Very close one. And then had another one with Matteo Berrettini again today. 6-1. you drop that second set, that's it. It's not good, is it? It's not good just giving sets away like that. 6-1 to Berrettini. What was the one to Kachanov? 6-2 to Kachanov, yeah. I don't know, I'm worried. Greek sport has just flew under the radar all tournaments, and he's just smoked everyone. Roman Safil and Hugo Humbert, Daniel Medvedev, all in 3 sets as well. All in 3 sets. Very, very hard to beat, as we know he can be. Is he going to beat Tsitsipas? I imagine the story would have been a lot similar last time out in Rotterdam, on the indoors as well. This court is very, very slow over here. Not very slow, sorry, I'm getting mixed up. It's not that fast, don't be wrong, I'm not talking shit. It's not very, very slow, but it's not fast whatsoever. It's probably more on the slow side, no doubt. I'd fancy Tsitsipas, while he's playing like this, he just seems to be, I don't know, he's finding something, he's doing enough to get these wins. It is not going to be easy against Talon Greek sport by any means. Tiebreakers in it, folks. Tiebreakers over. That is the formula for the Talon Greek sport matches. It's the way of the Greek sport. Just take over every time, every single time. You'll be flying with that. I think that's going to do us, I think that's going to do us. I'm gonna figure out what I'm going to go for while I wait for this to upload. So, as always, it will be in the pinned comment. Let me know what you're going for, best bets, all that stuff. Very well then. I'll be saying good night to you, folks. You take it easy, yeah. Take care of yourself. Take care of one another. Let's go get that cash again today. Enjoy the tennis, and I'll see you tomorrow.